Welcome to the podcast where we review different genres of movies, TV, and other media, and give you our personal takes on them. We're definitely not massive experts on this stuff, but as the other guys can vouch for, we watch a lot of TV and a lot of movies. I'm your host, Sean, and I'm here with my two other co-hosts, Cull.
What's up, guys? Thank you for listening. We appreciate your support.
As well as Tom.
Hi.
All right.
What's up?
Man, a few words.
A man of very few words. So today, episode 0, our very first episode.
We made it past -1, so we're getting somewhere.
-1 might never see the light of day, but we don't know. We'll see.
You should see the other episode 0.
Yeah. The -1.
-1.
But episode 0 for us. Why? This was Tom. Tom, why do you want to do episode 0? You gave us the idea.
This is a big day.
Because I watch a lot of podcasts, and a lot of podcasts do that shit. So I just thought, why don't we rip off their success and try and work for our own?
I don't think we're ripping off. We're following what's out there. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. We're just we're not revolutionizing podcasts here.
Well, rolling off
I
that,
thought
guys.
that the industry plant, that guy that told us. Never mind, nothing.
Rolling off that, guys. Why did we make this podcast? This is episode 0. I was immediately going to jump into it, but this is the first episode of the podcast. Why do we do this?
Well, I mean, my main thing was let's do a podcast because basically we sit together, we watch a lot of TV shows and movies. When we watch TV shows and movies, we pause them a lot. We debate about shit. We bring up stupid stuff about some random boy that Sean likes, or Tom picks out some random thing like, yo, this building didn't burn down because it was built in the 40s, and houses aren't built like that anymore.
Pistol killed Hitler.
We're gonna get to that one day.
So
we're gonna get.
We just have a lot of these things that we talk about, and it might be entertaining to other people. It might not be, but we're gonna talk about it anyway. We're gonna rate and review it anyway.
We're gonna find out the hard way.
We're gonna find out the hard way if anyone else cares. And we figured, you know what? Let's just put it out there to the world because fuck it.
Yeah.
We're going in raw, baby.
So right now we don't have a title.
Every good title name we thought of is taken.
Well, I was going to say, once this gets posted, it's obviously going to have a title because we can't post it to anything if we can't just write untitled and post it. So this will have a title eventually. Yeah. But yeah, so, we came up with this idea, start a podcast on our favorite stuff. Just a little bit of what we're going to be doing in the podcast. We're going to briefly run through the things we're going to be doing, and then actually do a little bit of it's episode 0 because we're doing a little bit of a test run almost. We're going to be doing a show called Tales of the Jedi. We're going to talk about it a little bit more in a few minutes. But first thing we just wanted to do is a little bit of some brief intros on us, different media we watch, stuff like that. So let's start with Mr. Tom.
T-Mac, baby.
All right. As they already told you, my name's Tom. I'm a big fan of a lot of different genres, I guess you could say. There's not many things I don't like. I'm not somebody who I think ties myself down to one specific genre. I like to say that.
But what are the heavy hitters for you?
Yeah,
crime movies.
Absolutely.
I love them.
Love
them to death. I love the comedy aspects to them. I love the dark aspects to them. And anything in between is usually the perfect balance.
We've got some notes written down, and in my notes for when we were first doing this, I have in all capital, Tom loves crime.
Yeah, I love crime. I love doing crime. I love watching crime. I love co-conspiring in crime.
We're not going to talk about those crimes on mic though.
Those crimes will
we're still
remain
cancelable.
nameless. Well,
we're not getting canceled yet.
But remember, all you listeners out there, you commit a crime every day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey Sean, you run a stop sign, you jaywalk, you commit a crime every day.
I don't think you do it every day.
It's
though.
Like what the devil. It's like what the devil said too. He said, "Well, you guys already committed some sins. You might as well go all the way." Right?
Episode 0, Tom's bringing up the devil already. I love it.
Not bring up the devil too much.
Which brings us to my second favorite thing: the devil.
No. Also, Star Wars.
Third favorite thing. Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be something that's going to be for all of us, but Tom and me are probably the top out of the three of us, the top 2 guys. We got the most background on it.
Yeah.
I like Star Wars.
Yep.
Not as much as them.
Comics.
comics. That's always been my thing. I like to think I put you onto that.
Yeah, somewhat. I would agree. Also, but when
in the similar way that you put me on to Star Wars originally, you don't remember that, but I do.
I remember it to an extent, but I also I'll talk about me in a minute. But like I also didn't get into Star Wars right off the bat. I got into Star Wars after Episode 3, so it was like 2005.
Well, and it should be interesting to know is what like I learned about Star Wars through you.
Right.
So like you would talk to me about it when we were kids.
When we were just young.
Yeah, but my first time watching Star Wars, I wasn't hooked on it immediately myself. Episode 4, I watched it. It was fun for.
It's not a great kid movie. But it's not like a good first thing.
I think it's just the
Like
time
young
I was
kid.
born.
Yeah.
I think the time that we were born, growing up, the prequels were still coming out.
I'm a big prequel guy.
Obviously, so Episode 4 came out and it was very dated. To somebody who grew up, I saw Spider-Man 1 and Shrek 2, like the same year as I saw Star Wars. So like, obviously, special effects is something in a whole different realm nowadays, which led to a different opinion going into it. But obviously, it's since changed. I love Episode 4. Episode 4 is a great film.
Right. Great. But yeah, so that's the heavy hitters for Tom when it comes to movies.
Yeah.
Cull.
What kind of movies I like? I like to watch a lot of action movies, action thrillers. I'm big on. I love watching thrillers. I'm a big biopic guy. I like movies based on real stories, real people. Those are the kind of movies I tend to really fuck with. I also like any sports flick, any sports drama. I'm a sucker for those kind of movies.
Documentaries,
yeah. I watch a lot of documentaries, docu-series. I'm big into those.
Horror movies.
I'm not a big horror guy. I've slightly the past year or so. I've slightly gotten back into it, but no, I'm not a big horror guy. Not that it scares me. I just haven't seen too many. I feel like well-written or executed horror movies. So
right.
Yeah,
it's not
that's a whole different
me.
topic.
But then, other than that, I'm not the biggest kind of comic or Star Wars guy. But I definitely, like them probably more than the average guy, slightly more than the average guy. Like I like them, I'll follow them, but I don't know. There's like more so just certain characters within them that I'm passionate about than the whole like making of the creation itself. That's what I would say.
I'd be inclined to agree with that on some level. I wouldn't, I do call myself the comic guy. I probably have
You're the Batman guy.
Yeah, I'm definitely the Batman guy, which we'll talk about in future episodes. But my biggest thing is I'm the one who's got the biggest background in comics here, but I mainly am like,
because you read them.
What draws me to a specific comic is the character itself. If the character is not drawn to me well, or it seems like a good archetype that I can get behind, I drop it.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a very specific. I know what I like kind of guy.
Very harsh critic.
Yeah, which makes it which also it allows me to be very honest when you'll find out in our coming reviews. But it might also make me come off as a bit of a dick. And to anybody that has a problem with that, go fuck yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we didn't say this, but I'll get to my stuff real quick. I'm really into a lot of like the military stuff.
Big war
police,
guy.
War guys, police movies. I'm also a big Star Wars guy. I wrote down remakes for me because I guess there's like a lot of remakes I've really been into. The A-Team, fantastic movie, and I watched this series in my childhood.
To our consciousness.
Yeah. But yeah, I watched it a lot with my grandpa, the original show, and I love the remake. So, but when it comes to like critiquing stuff, for the vast majority of
like
the stuff you're gonna listen to, Tom is gonna be the harshest critic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because he wants to
I got the most to bitch about.
I wouldn't even say that.
No, I'd say you usually want it like the
saying.
Closest to the source material. You're very much a stickler for that, and I feel like that is a big part of it.
Whether it's like something that happened in the real world or like a remake or a comic, you always want it to be like down to like the actual source.
I'm very tied down to if it's not perfect, I'm not calling it perfect.
Right.
It's just
and
as
I
simple
agree with
as that. A 10 is a 10, a 9 is a 9. It's
right.
as simple as that. And a shit is a shit.
Right. Cull's the middle ground for the most part.
Usually.
And I'm normally I normally just don't give a fuck, and it's not that I don't care, it's that like I normally don't take it too seriously, I guess.
Yeah.
Where like if I go to a movie with someone and it, like, you know, I had something that was like, all right, this was enjoyable. It's like, all right, it was a good movie. Like, these guys know I probably haven't given like below like a 5 on most movies that we rate, and we rate them out of 10. But
if I'm prosecutor, Sean's devil's advocate.
yeah,
That's
basically. But yeah, so I'm just gonna.
So we'll give you all different viewpoints from us.
Absolutely.
Hopefully that'll make it work well, and you guys will like that.
Yeah. So I'm going to do a quick run through of the bullets we have of basically what's going to happen on every podcast. For the most part, we're going to do our own versions here and there, but this is what we kind of want to do in every single podcast. Obviously, guys, if you want to give your input on anything, absolutely just cut me off.
Got you.
So, also, I didn't say stuff where the three of us are into, like the things that are for the boys, Fast and Furious.
100%.
Oh,
kind of started our
That's
our
what
movie
started
watching.
the movies.
Yeah.
100%.
probably led us to this podcast.
Yeah. Like 7 years ago or 6 years.
More than I would say more. Yeah.
Yeah. A long time ago.
Most action movies.
True.
Yeah,
Most of the time, if an action movie comes out and it looks like it's going to be good, the three of us are pretty much going to see it.
I love well-made action. I'm a sucker for it.
I like a lot of like any kind of like action drama, action thriller, action comedy,
and any
straight action.
Any action I can
Action
take
drama.
seriously that doesn't cut away from itself too often. Stuff like that. We use usage of shaky cam at the bare minimum. The John Wick movies, for a good example.
Those are more you're very
probably
passionate about.
we'll probably end up doing.
And then
at some point.
the other big thing that Tom got us into like a year and a half ago, The Sopranos.
We're all big Sopranos guys.
Still haven't finished it, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
Cornerstone of any American television watcher.
But
If you're listening, you should also watch The Sopranos.
100%, great show.
Yeah, if you're American, watch The Sopranos right now or leave the country. That's how it works.
It's on HBO Max.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm Irish. I'm speaking this as an Irish American who.
We're also all Irish.
Yeah.
The furthest thing, the first.
We're all
thing from
Irish,
Italian.
but they're Tom's people.
Love it to death.
But just a quick run through of what we're going to be trying to do every podcast. Basically, we're going to start with introducing what we're talking about. So, like I said, today we're going to be doing Tales of the Jedi. We're going to give a little bit of a discussion on when it came out, who made it, stuff like that. Give you a brief synopsis of what happened in the overall movie, show, whatever we're watching. Why we chose to watch it. It's most of the time going to be because one of us saw it first. That's pretty much a lot of how our list movies started off.
In this case, it was Sean.
In this case, yeah.
It's usually okay.
And we're gonna try our best to have some guests on here as the podcast goes.
Yeah.
Probably the first few episodes we're not gonna have any, but
Hopefully we get some viewers before we get the guests.
yeah, hopefully
we'll ease our way into that.
yeah. Once
We'll be bringing in friends of ours and known associates.
Yeah.
So then we're gonna actually go a little bit in depth on the actual thing we're watching. So be prepared. There will be spoilers on pretty much everything that is on this podcast.
Huge spoilers. We're going to say the title of the work in the episode, and if you haven't seen that and you don't want to know anything about it, then just don't listen to the episode.
And if you listen and then get annoyed that it was spoiled,
then
suck. It's on you, and as Tom loves to say, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah.
If you want me to tiptoe around your spoilers,
Tom does not tiptoe
we're
around
not going to get
anything.
along. You might want to just click off.
Yeah.
So watch.
We don't need your views.
Nothing
We don't need your views if you're gonna just badmouth.
Nothing personal. Eat shit.
Yeah.
Watch the movie or the show first, or if you've already watched it in the past, then listen to our.
Or
podcast.
if you
don't want to ruin it for yourself, or if you just want to listen. And
I was gonna say for the few people,
Mm-hmm.
I know there are some that just want it, like you just want like a comical review and kind of just hear us, shoot the shit on what we thought of it. Then, listen, keep listening.
We'll work in the future to see if we're willing to do non-spoiler reviews.
We'll probably end up doing that for like newer media, but like anything that we review that like hopefully our next episode's going to be the Clone Wars from 2003. Don't expect us to give a spoiler warning at the beginning of it. It came out in 2003. If you haven't seen it yet, that's on you.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. I'm not gonna save the spoiler ending for fucking Terminator for you. It's not gonna happen. It came out 40 years ago.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
So next thing, this is going to be mixed around in a couple different spots. We're going to try and give fun facts on the different media we're watching. It's not going to be for every episode, and we're not going to some we might have 5 facts, some we might have 2. It's depending on what we can find. For Tales, I found about 3 facts. We'll try and put them in at different points in the episode. We're going to have some fill-in segments. So just so we're not completely focusing on the media, we want to give you guys a little bit about us, the guys. So just some examples. One of them is going to be called Tom's Thinking Corner. And Tom's just going to tell you what he's thinking at that moment. If he wants to just...
Who pissed him off?
Yeah, if someone pissed him off and he wants to badmouth him, you're going to hear about it.
Yeah, believe me, you'll hear about my day.
Oh, yeah, you're going to hear about his day. We also have Cull Sports Topics.
I'm a big sports guy.
He is.
These two aren't as big, so I'm gonna try to keep them more so immersed in current sports culture.
Well, I was going to say right now we can talk about the Knicks real quick.
No, I don't want to talk about the Knicks right now.
That being
they're not playing
said,
too hard.
I do love combat sports. That is something.
You're a big UFC guy.
UFC.
You're not a big basketball guy. I'm a big basketball guy.
Absolutely.
No, that is Colin's thing.
I'll probably make some sports comments here and there, depending on what's going on at the time.
That'll be
if there's a trade going on in the NBA or something at the time, it could get brought up.
That'll be a pretty small percentage of this podcast overall.
Yeah.
So if you're not a sports fan, don't worry about it.
It's going to be an in the moment thing if it just pops up.
Yeah, it's not going to be a big part.
It's more of like a kind of stupid one. I'm preparing you people. We have Sean's Random Boys. So when it comes to a lot of stuff we watch, I tend to favor some random dude that's in the background that no one knows, and I will find out their name and details. You're going to hear about my boy.
Extra level.
It's like he chooses to find the randomness.
Well, listen, this started with the Clone Wars because we're going to spoil something with the Clone Wars right now, which watch the Clone Wars, yeah. There's a lot of clones. They have a lot of different names, and those are my favorite characters. So I started having a lot of them as boys, and then it just kind of went outside of that into its own.
It's gone into everything.
It's gone into its own realm.
And unfortunately,
you're going to hear about one of them in a couple of minutes.
And unfortunately,
for
he's got to rub this off onto Tom and I to a degree.
Yeah,
I've definitely rubbed it off on the Cull at some points. It's like we'll be watching like a show, and Cull will be like, "That guy in the background just looks cool," and then he'll show up like 5 minutes later, and Cull will be like, "There's my guy."
Yeah.
Anybody's got the right shoulder pads or character design.
Yeah.
They'll become my boy.
We're going to also occasionally have random songs of the week if one of us just has like a pretty solid song we've been listening to.
Yeah, we all listen to...
We're all over the place.
All over the place with music, but all of us...
Me and Tom are two opposite sides of the spectrum.
All of us will find like a random song that like we all like vibe with, and we'll just like play it for a week. So we'll bring up those songs to you.
I'll listen to Walking on Sunshine and same time listen to Alice in Chains. Like, that's how it... Yeah. Very bipolar.
And then the last one we have written down for now, there's probably going to be more that come up eventually if we think of them, but underrated shout-outs. So it's going to be underrated.
I love this.
We're going to start with actors, but it's going to be movies, other things. Yeah. I know the big one that we said from the jump, and he'll probably get brought up more than once, is our boy Jeremy Renner.
Facts.
Very underrated actor.
Yeah. He did get 2 Best Supporting Actor nominations, but I think even if you get nominations in the Oscars, you can still be very underrated.
I agree.
That's my take.
Because he doesn't win them.
No, he didn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do we got next?
What if we took Bradley Cooper and we made him even more underutilized in Hollywood?
Yeah.
That's how I
mean, Jeremy's just as talented. He's a great singer, too. He's in a band. Yeah. Just as talented.
So next we got the piece of media when it came out versus today when we're reviewing it.
Yeah, so Tales of the Jedi is going to be a good example, but like Sopranos came out it premiered over 20 years ago now. It came out the year we were born, actually 99, and it's held up tremendously. You know, people still love it to this day, even more so than when it came out. So that's a good example of like comparing the pieces.
Yeah, for a lot of the newer stuff. For a lot of the newer stuff, we're probably not going to do it as much. This might be one that shows up occasionally, doesn't show up every episode.
Yeah,
but
probably like half the episodes.
Yeah,
There'll be something like this.
Yeah.
We also have bringing up. We're going to bring up some debates.
Yes.
Here and there. Again, we don't really have one for Tales. There wasn't a lot to debate.
It will get heated.
I got very heated on one thing, but the guys kind of are okay with me being heated about this specific thing in Tales, so it's not a debate. But
Band of Brothers.
Band of Brothers is probably going to be episode 2 or 3. Oh. We're going to have about 3 or 4 debates in that episode, so be prepared.
Break up.
Yeah, we're going to break up after the 4th episode. It's going to be like a band.
We're going to stay together.
No, one of us is getting canceled in a couple episodes.
I hope it's not you, brother.
And then we have our personal takes on...
It's you, brother.
No. And then we have our personal takes on the actual thing we're reviewing. So it's basically just going to be our own personal reviews, what we thought. We're not going to give the rating yet there. The rating's going to be saved for the end of the episode, so you got to continue listening till the end. And then we're just going to have our wrap-up segment. We're going to have a few things, quick hitters, It's just going to be different things we're going to bring up at the end of the episode.
Quick questions, first thing that comes to your head.
Yeah. Today we're going to try and do, I think, movies from 99.
The year we were born, yep.
Yeah, we were all born in 99. We're going to try and just come up with the first movie in our head. So you guys got about... We got some time to think about it till the end of the podcast.
I got mine ready, bro.
I got mine ready, and it's because Cullen told me it before the podcast started.
I bet you could think of
99 was a
one.
bad
I
year.
probably will think of another one before that, but I can't Google it because we have no Wi-Fi in this
99 was a
basement.
bad year, I know, because I was born in that year.
Say
Yeah.
that.
And then we're going to give our final ratings. For the most part, we're going to try and rate everything out of 10. We're going to throw in an occasional stupid rating. It's going to be something, it could be these TikTok ratings. Like, I mean, it's all right, but it's overrated as fuck. But it's going to be something like that.
Those might get old quick, so that might be a beginning thing.
Yeah, we're gonna see what happens. But for the most part, it's going to be ratings out of 10.
I'm also going to give you my Letterboxd rating out of 5 because everything I watch, I put on Letterboxd. So
Me and Tom do not.
I know, and if that confuses anyone, well, one's out of 5, one's out of 10, so you shouldn't get confused.
You can get a little bit confused.
It can get a little bit confusing.
And obviously, things are subject to change in the future depending on.
This is
how
only
the
episode
audience-
0.
Yeah.
And then we're going to wrap up the episode completely with just letting you know what's most likely going to be the next episode. We're going to try and stay pretty true to that unless like a new movie comes out or something like that. And then we'll just end the episode from there.
Yes, sir.
So since we're all pretty good on what's going to be in the podcast, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we are going to jump into Tales of the Jedi. So
All right, we just took a quick break. All right, we're about to get into our topic for today, which is Tales of the Jedi, a little mini-series directed and written by Dave Filoni, if that's right, Sean. Right?
Yep, Dave Filoni. He is probably most known for doing the highly received series from 2008, Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
Yes, sir.
Me and Tom know that show
Yeah,
very well.
I would argue almost too well.
Probably.
Yeah.
Cull is also very well acquainted with the
I
show,
wouldn't
just
say
not to the
very
extent we
well
are.
acquainted.
No, we've gotten a good amount
Decently
into
It's
it.
one of the only things that keeps me on a Star Wars fan nowadays.
It's
So.
one of the things that keeps me alive.
Whoa.
Whoa.
No.
Don't think it's that
Went
powerful.
dark on episode 0. Damn.
No.
No.
But
That's
yeah,
the medicine I have to take.
all right.
Say that.
Yeah, Tales of the
My
Jedi.
heart from exploding. What?
Tales of the Jedi. That's the show.
Yes, sir.
It's
That is correct.
follows 2 Jedi who have become major figures in their own rights to the Star Wars universe right now, Count Dooku and Ahsoka Tano, as they struggle through probably not the most important. Well, for Dooku, it's probably the most important we've seen, but for Ahsoka,
Very
some
transitional.
key moments that help define their characters.
I would agree.
I would agree.
And judging by the nature of their characters, the very divergent paths leading them to different spots in time in their
Right.
own journey. Yeah.
So, guys, why did we choose to watch this? What made us watch this show? I had already
You did.
seen it.
You made us watch.
Yeah, it was kind of spur of the moment. I was.
No, but I think
you
we
put
were.
us on.
I think we
Yeah.
were on Disney Plus for some
I
reason.
think so.
Like we were
Yeah.
gonna watch a movie or something.
I think we were probably gonna
and then
finish
it popped up,
Pirates.
Yeah.
and Tom was like, "Yeah, I'm down."
And we were
Yeah, I was
like,
like,
fuck it.
fuck it.
And I had already seen it
And
because
you were like, we
I
have
pretty
to-
much watched
You were
this
like, we
stuff
have
when
to
it drops.
skip episode 1.
Well, we'll get to
Yeah,
that.
I'm like, I'm not.
We'll get to that dark spot. But yeah. So before watching it, this is kind of also added to why we watched it. But initial thoughts before actually diving into it. What do you guys think?
Before diving in, I went in going in. I didn't know what to expect because I was coming off of having recently watched the what was it? The Bad Batch show that came out, which
Mixed reviews.
yeah, very mixed feelings about that when I was going into it. I went in with high hopes, ended up leaving a little bit disappointed. So I went in with that perception in mind. But I also knew that I also went in kind of expecting a similar style to The Mandalorian, which I think kind of held true, and that it was very self-contained.
It keeps to itself.
It felt like
Yeah.
it felt like much like a space western, in that there was just different small stories happening with that. Like it was something that I could see have like taking place, obviously not in the same universe, but it's like a Coen Brothers movie, like in Ballad of Buster Scruggs, for anybody that would have seen it.
Right.
So, seen it.
Cull.
Yeah,
First impressions.
Initially, like, I saw the trailer for it, and I saw some on Twitter about people complaining about the run times. You know, the short episodes. I think we realized they're all under like 20 minutes, which is pretty short, especially for anything Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I was excited because my boy Mace Windu comes back. Mace Windu's always been my boy, big Mace Windu fan. And I saw that he was in it, and I thought he was going to be in multiple episodes. Unfortunately, he's only in one episode.
And not played by Sam Jackson.
Which is fine. His voice actor in it does a very
He does a good job.
Yeah.
Some bullshit.
But yeah, I thought it was some bullshit. I thought he was going to be in multiple episodes. I thought at first when it was Tales of the Jedi, we were going to get some tales about actually Mace, but he's just involved with one tale in one episode, so not a lot from him. So I wasn't super pumped about that. But like Tom said, I've watched some newer Star Wars stuff. I watched Mando. Not a big fan of it. Definitely don't dislike it in any way. So I had mixed feelings going in. I wasn't super excited going in, but went in with still an open mind.
Yeah, and I'd be quick to say I kind of share that sentiment. I'm very here and there with Mandalorian. There's points that I really love. There's points that I'm here and there with. So.
Are you caught up?
Yes, I would say. Yeah, I'm caught up.
I'm not caught up.
Not caught up with, but if we're counting Boba Fett, but yeah,
no, but at least
the show itself, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, my first impressions for watching it, like I said, I watched it a little bit before watching it with these guys, just because right now I'm kind of the like I said, me and Tom pretty on point when it comes to Star Wars like history and stuff.
Yeah.
But with a lot of the newer stuff, I normally jump on it. I get the first take on it kind of, and give the guys my opinion. They can take mine as they will. Tom knows I'm still like a pretty heavy Star Wars fan, regardless of Disney or not. So he takes it as he will.
That's true.
Yeah. But I watched it. I watched all of it in one go.
It's like 90
Which
minutes.
I think
Yeah,
we
it's
can
a
all
little-
say, right?
We might have watched it in 2 nights. I don't remember.
No,
but
we watched all of it, but I thought besides
Besides the first episode?
shit show.
Yeah.
all right, yeah.
And it was less than an hour. Or
Right.
Like an hour.
Yeah.
Besides
good.
the Martez Sisters Part 2.
All 6
For anybody that would
episodes,
not get that
I
one.
think you're probably getting about like an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah,
But-
about that.
But yeah, so we're gonna jump into the plot. Which one should we start with? So we're splitting it into the 2 parts. We're gonna go talking about Ahsoka's episodes, which she has the first episode, the 5th episode, and the 6th episode, and then we're gonna talk about Dooku, who had 2 through 4. Which one should we start with, guys? You want to do Dooku or you want to do Ahsoka?
Which one do we think the fans are feeling?
Well, do we want to start?
Dooku fans or Ahsoka fans?
I think the 3 of us agree that the Dooku episodes are the better ones. So do we want to start off with the better episodes, or do we want to end with the better
I think
episodes?
we should start off with the worst ones.
I think
Okay.
we should start off. I don't think we should call them the worst ones, but
I said
No,
worst,
but
like of the 2.
of the 2.
I mean,
They're not
look,
by any circumstance bad.
everybody loves villains. The villains are usually the cool guys, so we'll start with the good guys.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So we're gonna start with Ahsoka. So Ahsoka's story, basically, it's focusing on 2 points in her life that we haven't seen yet. Her very, very early life.
1-year-old.
Yeah, a little too early.
The first time she shit herself.
It's sort of.
First time she went hunting.
And it's basically just showing.
Both quite literally. Yeah.
It's showing Ahsoka's introduction to the Force. The guys know this is my least favorite episode.
It's
I feel
definitely
like
my least favorite.
I feel like you could easily take this episode out, and probably the show would have gotten a higher rating for me, honestly, just because it's just like
probably get like a half star.
as the first episode,
Yeah,
it's just not
not a
like
lot.
it's not a hook.
It's not a good.
It's not a. It's a one-dimensional story. There's only like one real crux to it in the entire of the episode, and that's one of the things I think I would call that a con on this on the show as a whole. Not how major it is depends on the episode, but these episodes seem to be focused on one dimension of storytelling
Right.
per episode, which obviously they don't have a lot of time to work with due to the short run time, so it's understandable, but it is something to be noted, and I think it gets shown never more truthfully than in this episode.
The one thing I will say for this episode, the one positive is, and it's for all the episodes really, but the visuals are they're on point.
Yeah, definitely. The lighting on this show is fucking fantastic. Yeah. The way they work with the shadows and everything, it makes it feel
emphasis like the character's eyes even.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
it's well done for
They
sure.
basically they use like the Clone Wars animation. And it's updated, and it's got its pluses and its minuses. To me, it looks a little bit. It doesn't look as good, but it has like its good points with the visuals, like we said.
Well, one of the things I always loved about the Clone Wars is how it's got a very cinematic style. There's a lot of wide shots panning over large expanses of background and whatnot. That obviously the cast and crew, the production team had to design themselves. But I honestly feel like, in terms of the character design, I feel like it definitely has a weird, more jarring in-between feel with it. But in terms of the backgrounds and how well they design
like
the
effects,
world they live, I think they've improved on the cinematic quality ever more presently than they did before.
I would agree.
Yeah.
It feels like each of these episodes feel like their own movie.
Right.
In terms of cinematic quality. Right.
So next episode with Ahsoka is something we see a lot of already, but it's a good point. It's during the Clone Wars. It's Ahsoka learning a special move from Anakin that he basically always wants her to be prepared for the worst possible outcome. So during the Clone Wars, they're always fighting the droids. Ahsoka doesn't really see them as much of a challenge. So Anakin's trying to teach her to challenge herself for when she's not going to be taking on the easy thing.
Yeah.
And at the end of that episode, we're not going to... This is the one thing we won't spoil because it leads into another show that we're obviously not talking about too much right now. But it gives a very fitting callback to the last episode of the Clone Wars.
Yeah. Very big, big spoilers ahead.
It shows that the practice she learned here from Anakin is gonna pay off
in the long run.
As not practice anymore.
Right, and it's gonna help in the long run. Yeah. This is something that I think it's cool that it's something that Anakin's preparing her for something that's gonna eventually happen with the Empire, like her fighting the Empire, but he doesn't know that that's gonna happen.
Honestly, personally for me, I feel like it's got a very parent-child-like dynamic to them, and at least in this episode, I know they're usually
you see them as siblings more.
Mentor, and it's like older brother, younger sister. But in this case, it almost feels like a parent teaching their child about the real world,
like the tough shit you got to learn to survive in the real world.
You might think that you're okay now. You need to be great. The world is not sunshine and rainbows.
It's gonna spit you out even if you're built different.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's a droid, a bounty hunter, any one of these things can kill you. We're in war right now, and you're a fucking child.
Yeah, facts.
We're sending you into war.
Yeah,
that's something people in the Geneva Convention are gonna have a problem with.
People in real life still have that problem, sending their kids into war.
We're gonna have to write whole episodes around the fact that it's bullshit. We got child soldiers.
We're going very off topic.
I don't know if we're gonna have to write anything about that.
All right, let's get back on this.
I agree.
The last episode, focusing on Ahsoka, it's showing her life in between the Clone Wars and another animated show, Star Wars Rebels. So we get to see what she's doing in between that a little bit. Big points in that. Loved seeing Padme's funeral, obviously not in a dark way, but it's just interesting that they come back to that.
That was awesome.
And that Ahsoka was actually able to be there. Yeah, tastefully done.
And it didn't seem out of place too. It felt like it fit with the timeline of the movies.
No, it did. Ahsoka's donning her classic Jedi hood that the clones never know that they're Jedi then.
Right, the hood hides everything somehow.
It's like the Marvel.
Most subtle.
It's like the Marvel cap and sunglasses thing. When you put on a baseball cap and sunglasses, you're unrecognizable.
It's as useful as Yoda's hood with the ears sticking out of it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Bail Organa makes an appearance.
My boy.
Yep, probably S tier senator. We love him.
Yeah, he's a G.
Underrated character.
I agree.
Underappreciated.
I like his actor a lot too.
Yeah.
I fuck with Bale very heavily.
The middle of the episode focuses a little bit on just Ahsoka. She doesn't want to. The whole point of this episode is she wants to go into hiding. She doesn't really want to be that person that saves people anymore with what the Empire is becoming. So you see that a little bit while she's working on this farm.
She's a farm man.
Yeah. And then the high point of this episode is the very end when she fights an Inquisitor, unnamed in the show. There is a book about Ahsoka's life in between Clone Wars and the Rebels that came out years ago.
Yeah.
Where
It's titled Ahsoka.
It's titled Ahsoka. They do talk about the Inquisitor in that, and Dave basically just rewrote him and redesigned him. He looks a lot cooler in the show. I just wish, they
Voiced
kind
by
of...
Clancy Brown, who's
Yeah.
Got a great.
who's a G.
Yeah, Clancy Brown. I didn't
Yeah.
even catch that on.
Yeah, it's him.
I read it. It was
I
voiced by
forgot
Clancy
about
Brown.
it, but yeah, he does a lot of Star Wars work.
Clancy Brown's a beast.
He does a lot of Star
Brown,
Wars.
yeah,
He's in Mandalorian at some point.
Oh, yeah.
He's in Mandalorian. Does a lot of voice acting roles.
Yeah.
And live action.
Plays Savage in the Clone Wars.
Oh well, and don't forget the greatest villain of all, Mr. Krabs.
Of course.
Yep.
But yeah, I know originally in the book, I think he's the sixth brother or something like that, because they number the Inquisitors, but in the show he's just the Inquisitor.
Yeah,
but
he's nameless Inquisitor.
But he's got a cool design. He looks cool.
He looks pretty badass.
Yeah.
Tom doesn't like how he got murked pretty quickly by Ahsoka.
Yeah,
but
I guess we can go into that.
Let's do a quick dive into it.
My biggest
pretty
problem with this is my biggest problem. Sorry, excuse me. My biggest problem with this episode is a ongoing problem with me and recent Star Wars shows as a recent, and even for the things that I like, is they make a big deal out of overly focusing on the needless bullshit and that getting to the part we want to get to, and giving us just a sliver of what we want.
They Indiana Jones him.
Yeah, basically.
He whips out the sword. He does the move.
Only they don't have the excuse of the actor got injured that day.
Yeah,
Or he was like really sick or something.
Yeah, that was
right?
what was. Yeah, it was. Harrison Ford fucked up his leg when they were shooting that day. It's like, all right, fuck it. But this one, you got an animated character. Obviously, you don't get that excuse, especially since this was something that I gave it a pass for when I saw the Rebels episode with Obi-Wan and Maul, which I'm not to go into it.
We'll
too
jump
heavy,
into that. We'll jump into that at some point.
Yeah, we could probably talk about that another time. But basically, they do a very similar shot scene to that.
Right.
And that the duel feels very derivative and doesn't feel very unique, in my opinion. It doesn't have the kind of punch that I would want it to for a character that's coming out of hiding as a Jedi in this time period of Star Wars.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I've heard different opinions of that. I'm more so leaning towards the other side that thought it was pretty badass how quickly.
It's definitely badass.
Ahsoka takes care of this Inquisitor and just literally beheads this man in the matter of
it's showing she's
that's
still
not
got
my
it.
2
issue.
seconds.
Yeah.
No, I know it's not your issue.
Yeah, it's not my issue. Isn't how easily she does it. It's more.
It's that it
It's
just
just
happened.
the anticlimax of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
This isn't a gunslinging duel. This isn't two bounty hunters. These are two
Sword wielding.
trained combatants, and a character that you just introduce in order to if you're gonna bring him in, you might as well let him have his moment be memorable, right?
Right.
I agree.
These Inquisitors don't get enough time to be taken seriously as villains, and this is something that's been present in almost all the media I've seen with it recently, and I feel like it's been a continuing trend here.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's besides the point. Sean, do you want to give more thoughts on it?
I mean, that's pretty much all I got for Ahsoka.
Yeah.
I was gonna drop a quick fun fact, and then we'll jump into Dooku.
Fun fact.
So I don't know, you guys. I just told you guys right before we came back from the break, as Tom told us.
Right.
But
No more breaks.
Tales of the Jedi. The reason it was written, or why Dave decided to write it, or when he did, while he was filming The Mandalorian. I'm assuming it was probably the second season, since that was
probably
at the time probably the most recent one he was filming.
Yeah, probably.
He
that took from the Ahsoka book a little bit, didn't it?
I don't really think so.
Okay.
We'll get to that at some
All
point.
right, yeah.
We're only episode 0, Tom. We got
Well,
nothing.
no, I'm just,
we got
I'm
nothing.
just making
but
the
time.
connection there.
But he, while he was on set directing episodes, producing all that, he started writing just some very short stories in his notebook about different Jedis, and it didn't even really say that he did it just on Dooku and Ahsoka. Excuse me.
Hopefully there's one about Mace Windu out there.
I have a feeling he was writing them about different, because he's a big Plo Koon guy. I have a feeling he did it on a bunch of them, and then once he brought the idea
to the studio.
They were like, we want you to focus on like specific people.
I honestly imagine this is only like 1/3 of a first season that he actually wrote in this book, because it definitely feels like it doesn't feel like a complete season.
Yeah, it probably didn't take an insane amount of time to write. Like,
I feel like there was something they had like an open spot like of time where it was like, there's not too much Star Wars right now. Let's throw that in there.
Let's give the fans a little taste. Basically.
Yeah.
But jumping into the Dooku side of Tales, which for I think all three of us was probably, I would say they're all probably the top 3 episodes. I can't speak for you guys, but
they're my personal favorite episodes. I don't know about you, Colin.
No, the Ahsoka training one is
that's a top 3.
That's either my 3rd or 4th favorite.
Okay,
going back, that might stack differently.
Right,
but the last 2 Dooku episodes are definitely my top 2.
All right, so let's jump into them. So the Dooku story follows him starting with him being a Jedi Knight, teaching a young Jedi we all know very well, Qui-Gon Jinn.
Which we don't get revealed until later, but you know.
I think it's kind of most people knew who he was. As Tom just thought he was a knockoff Luke Skywalker for the majority of the first episode.
The hair did look like Luke,
but he's Dooku's basically showing Qui-Gon the ropes, his own beliefs on justice.
His gray area beliefs.
I would say the big thing is that he's trying to show Qui-Gon that he doesn't always have to make the right choice. He should make the correct choice. That becomes like a big thing.
Yeah, I think it's like
I think it's more not the. It's not the legal choice; it's the ethical choice that matters.
Right, that's kind of what I meant.
I think it's more so that like you got to adapt to the moment. You can't just follow this strict rule book that the Jedi Council gives you. That like when you're actually dealing with conflicts and shit in the world, like you got to adapt and like feel out the situation at hand. I think that's important. Like talking.
It questions the moral complexity that we all question. Is the law and morality intertwined together, or are they 2 separate entities? Which I think most people eventually separate.
And in Star Wars, they definitely separate.
And definitely. That's a major theme in Star Wars running throughout.
And it works. Right. It works for Star Wars.
Yeah,
definitely. The way they portray it.
But the first episode, Dooku and Qui-Gon arrive on this planet, and
I don't think it has a name.
We don't know the name, but a senator's son has been kidnapped, and they're trying to figure out who kidnapped him. We eventually find out it was just the regular people of this town that they go to.
And could we talk a little bit about the landscape of this place, like the setting?
This is another. I think this is another great artwork or a visual thing in that, but it's on the opposite spectrum of the first episode.
Dark feeling.
I think it's cool that they went from the first episode being like a nice green. It looks like Endor. We've brought up in our last recording.
Definitely a major contrast there, and you can almost feel how uncomfortable they are when they get off the ship. They're like, oh man, this is where we. All right.
Well, they're trying to make you think like this is like not a good place to be.
But yeah,
and then once you go in and you meet the townspeople, it's like the townspeople aren't bad people. They're just living in terrible conditions.
Facts.
Yeah, you can see the look on their face, like their heads are being held low. They barely look like they have like the energy to even speak.
Because they probably don't have the food. They don't have the real energy.
Yeah, exactly.
They're literally missing like basic
resources. Definitely don't have like the food in the morning because that gets shown a little bit later. So Qui-Gon and Dooku get brought to the senator's son. As they're there, the senator shows up, which Cullen has the senator's name written down because I do not remember it.
I actually don't think I have his name written down.
I thought you had this one written down. Or do you have the one for the next episode?
I have one for the next
episode. Okay. All right.
So I don't think they actually named this one.
They might not have. So he shows up. He's pissed off. He's like, why? He's saying to Dooku, why aren't you returning my son to me? You work for me, basically. And Dooku drops a pretty solid quote. He's like, I don't work for you, I work for the Republic.
He says the people of the Republic.
Meaning the people. He's saying he works for the people that can't protect themselves.
You're an officer of the Republic. He goes, we are all
he says
you're created to serve the Republic.
No, he says you're created to serve the Senate, and he says, no, I'm created to serve the people of the Republic.
Right.
Yeah.
And
which is a good quote.
No, and I think Dooku's trying to show I'm not going to protect the people that almost don't need my protection. Like the senator, the son says it at one point, but like the senator is always on Coruscant. Like he's always living in like a tower.
His high life.
Yeah, he's living a high life. He's not looking at the planet. So a
don't
fight
give a fuck.
ends up happening between the civilians and the senator and his soldiers. Dooku and Qui-Gon get involved. At first, they're just kind of defending, trying to not get too many people injured, killed, whatever ends up happening. It gets to the point where Dooku ends up force choking the senator,
The
father, and Qui-Gon tries to stop him. He force pushes Qui-Gon back, which is I thought that was kind of a cool scene.
It was like a very serious scene.
And it gets to the point where Qui-Gon has to release the senator's son to get Dooku to stop, basically.
Which is very smart on Qui-Gon's part. Qui-Gon's like, fuck, I can't like stop this guy from like going off the rails and force choking. So let me send the son and tell the son, yo, you have to go in and save your father. You have to go in.
And I would have thought Qui-Gon would have been the one to stop it because Dooku has like such a good connection with Qui-Gon.
Well,
that's the whole point of this. I would say the main point of this episode is showing the connection between Dooku and Qui-Gon.
Well, and I think that's the big thing that's communicated in the final scene as well. Is just it perfectly encapsulates their dynamic in this one scene. It's like, Master, you can't do that. To hell with it. To hell with the code. All of that. He's going, all right. Well, how do I bring him to his senses? I'll appeal to emotion. I'll bring the son over. All right, I can see the human I'm about to kill.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
He understands his master just as much as his master understands him, and that's why they go so well together.
Yeah, they're both willing to not really follow like the strict rules of the Jedi playbook and just kind of take things their own way. But it works for both of them.
I like to think of it. It's almost like Qui-Gon serves as like a Robin to his Batman, in the sense that he's like, I'll pull you out of going full on into the whole moral grayness area to go into the black, and I'll pull you up and make it a little bit lighter shade.
Right.
Yep, I would agree.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna try and run through the next two episodes kind of quickly, just so we can wrap up the plot a little bit.
No problem.
Second episode, Dooku and Mace Windu are working together to solve a Jedi murder on, I believe it's the planet Raxus.
Raxus.
Or Raxus Prime, something like that.
Yeah, it was Raxus.
What?
It's called like Raxus Ciandus, something like that.
Okay.
It's got
I believe you. Raxus is probably the original planet. It's probably like a.
It's probably
colony.
a moon.
Oh,
Raxus.
Something
maybe.
like that.
I don't know.
Just because I know
Raxus
is supposed to be
Like
like
Optimus
the main, not Optimus Prime, right?
Well,
We need a prime.
We need a prime.
But Raxus is supposed to be like the main.
Do you know who I am?
Raxus is supposed to be the original spot of the Separatists. So I guess that's supposed to be like the important point.
It's an important part to note. All right.
Yeah, but they show up. They're looking into the murder of
Master Katri.
Katri.
I don't know how to
Something.
say it.
Yeah.
It's a female.
Master Captree.
Yeah, sure.
Katri State Park.
And then they end up.
Don't tell him that.
And then they end up meeting Senator
Lorik,
who is
who survived the attack.
He survived the attack. He was with.
So Master Katri, he was with her when she
was protecting
died.
him.
Yeah, she was protecting him. Right.
Dooku and Windu, begin investigating. They end up finding out that it was the soldiers or police, whatever you want to call them,
the guards
of the senator. They kill the senator, and again, a fight ends up happening.
See the moral grayness of Count Dooku.
At the very end, he has a talk with the one surviving guard, and and then the last episode, which was my probably favorite episode.
It's my favorite episode.
Tom?
Yeah, I don't know. It's either this one or the first one.
The first
one,
Dooku episode.
I think the first one was a very powerful episode to me.
Right.
I think it communicated a lot.
Well, this one just had a lot of this one was probably also like kind of the fan service episode. It brings back Qui-Gon and it brings back Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon.
Which is so cool to bring back Liam Neeson.
Super cool. It's supposed to be, he comes back to the Jedi Temple right after his fight with Maul in episode 1.
The one he survives.
Yeah, of the Phantom Menace.
Yeah, no, I always love when they have those little bits of it's like, all right, we're here in the
movie
trilogy. We're here in the trilogy.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's like we're not in between the trilogy. We are here in the trilogy right now. Like you're seeing a deleted scene almost.
Yeah.
Right. It cool. Also it has Dooku taking Kamino out of the archives, which ends up being seen in Attack of the Clones down the road.
You see fucking that bitch Jocasta.
Yeah, you see Jocasta, who we all fucking hate.
Ultimately, I still wish they went, obviously to go back to the runtime, but I really wish they were able to
This would have been a good episode to flush out a little bit more.
Yeah, I would have liked to find out more about Sifo Dyas.
Yeah, give me some more of that juicy plot detail.
And then the later half of the episode, Dooku going to Palpatine and Yaddle, another Yoda species.
Played by Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yep, played by Bryce Dallas Howard. Colin's not a fan. I am a fan.
Those Jurassic World.
She comes and tries to get Dooku to come back with her to the Jedi Order, but we see that Dooku is too far gone. They fight.
I read something here. So apparently Yaddle was on the council.
She was.
And she's in the Phantom Menace, but she actually left the council herself because she didn't agree with like the strict Jedi.
That's true. She says that in that episode.
So it seemed like her and Dooku might have had like some
connection.
Yeah, connection.
Her, Dooku, and Qui-Gon. They had like a triumvirate of like
similar thoughts.
Yeah, fuck the cool kids type of deal.
Not necessarily fuck it, but like we're not gonna follow it like
we're not gonna follow it blindly.
Yeah, we're not gonna follow it blindly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unlike
the contrarians.
Mace Windu, you see in a different episode who follows it too much to a T, and it's to its fault.
Right.
Yeah.
It fucks him over in a couple ways for sure.
But yeah, they have a battle. Ends in a very cool way. Yaddle gets crushed by a door. You think she's dead,
and she gets uncrushed.
They play like the classic like Star Wars music when like a hype moment's coming.
Yeah,
she lifts the door, and you think she's gonna fight back again.
Hear the Force theme,
and she just drops.
No, I thought he cuts her with her lightsaber.
No, he does, but I'm saying like you think like she's gonna come out of the door and it's gonna be like part 2, and she just falls. Like it took everything out of her, and Dooku ends up having to kill her as he's turned to the dark side.
Yeah, but
he still does it reluctantly.
Like a mercy kill.
It's almost like a mercy kill. I wouldn't call it. Like
I don't know because he also the way he quotes it, like he says a quote. I forget what the exact quote is, but he's essentially like. She says something to him like, "Don't do it. Like you're better than this."
No, she asked him. She's like, "How many have suffered like already, like from what you're doing with Sidious here?"
Yeah, but then
he says something else. I don't know.
He says something to her that's like it's essentially like a fuck you to her. It felt like.
I'm pretty.
So they say something like, "I'm too far gone." Maybe?
I'm pretty sure
something
he
like
said
that. Like where she's
like, or something like that.
Yeah.
Something along the lines of like, "I'm already gone. This is it.
Fuck it."
Yeah.
It's too. Well, he says, "I'm afraid," and she goes, "I know." And he goes, "I'm afraid it's too late."
And then
but it's him admitting, he goes, "I'm afraid of the reality of what I've just decided to do."
Yeah.
Like, and this is it coming at me for the first time.
Like no one, I don't think anyone had like necessarily died like directly at his hands until that point.
And I'm
from him going to the Sith.
And I'm
not
convinced.
Directly,
I'm convinced.
Because Sifo Dyas is dead by then.
I know, but it wasn't necessarily directly. You know what I mean?
I'm convinced, honestly, through both statements from Dave Filoni on his take on Qui-Gon in general, and from what he communicates in this show, I believe that if it had been Qui-Gon in Yaddle's position, I think he would have been able to pull him back.
Successfully convinced.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, would have had a way better chance.
Yeah, absolutely. Him and obviously the death of Qui-Gon affected him. Yaddle wasn't going to have as much of a pull on him in his current state of mind. So if the circumstances had been different, who knows what might have happened.
Yeah, but
and who knows what would have happened if because. What's it called? Dooku and Sidious have talked. Dooku's at first mad at us. He's like, why'd you kill, why'd you let Qui-Gon die? He could have been like a good ally to us.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see if Qui-Gon would have maybe joined that path. Yeah. Would he have been the one to bring Dooku back? All the stuff with Qui-Gon just makes you realize how much more of an important character he was to Order 66, Palpatine, so many more things that go on in the prequels.
Yeah, well, and it's also interesting too is he's committing himself to the dark side, but at the same time, when he's confronted by Yaddle about his feelings on Qui-Gon's death, he buries it all down, which is what the Jedi always preach. To detach yourself from your emotions, keep it locked away, which obviously he lets out by the time he gets to Palpatine. Which shows, how wishy-washy he is back and forth on where he's at this point.
Yeah, but that's pretty much everything we got plot-wise. So, we're gonna do 2 more fun facts real quick.
Fun facts.
They're not as the first one wasn't too hype either. Like I said at the beginning of this, some of the fun facts aren't going to be as great as the others. These are just some details about Tales.
We're getting them from Google.
Yeah, I definitely pulled them from a 35 facts.
Tab open right now.
No, I had it open before. I'm not gonna lie. It was 35 facts of Tales, and some of them were just like
Shit.
Tales was made in October. I was like, that's fucking
Tales'
stupid.
favorite color is pink.
Yeah, But the other two we have are comparing this series to the Clone Wars, which is obviously Filoni's biggest, I guess, Star Wars attribute. Yeah. Tales is a lot slower pace because Dave wanted it to be more of like he wanted to have a tone of like poems, is what it said, which I took that as, poems are like shorter readings. This is like a little bit of a shorter story. These are more like I said, not focused on the action. It's more like toned back to just not too much crazy stuff. So I guess that was his take on that. And he also said, he wanted a lot less dialogue and more visual storytelling, which we've said a lot so far.
It excels
it gets seen a lot in this show. And the other big one, not big one, but the other fact that wasn't just Tales is 6 episodes long was the way that they were able to get like a very surprisingly tragic Dooku's like point of view on life. Like I think we all knew Dooku had was gonna have like some tragic turn.
He was the hero of his own story.
Right, but the way that they got that, Dave attributes some of them like getting these darker episodes from the fact that they were being written during COVID. Yeah. So everyone was at home. They didn't.
Depressing times for sure.
Yeah. So I guess that's what helped get these episodes to the point they're at.
I don't know how you you connect a virus to.
I guess he was just trying to say like the fact that people are like locked inside, like they just couldn't like do things.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, that's
turn to the dark side.
That's our fun facts for this episode. So we're gonna do 2 fill-in segments this episode just to fill in a little bit of time.
Usually
also,
we'll do 3, but
we might do 1 sometimes, depending on how long. It depends on how long they go. But I know that at least mine's not going to go long at all because we're here for Sean's Random Boys.
Fucking hate.
And then in this episode, we're gonna focus on my boy Master Marcus.
None of you, even if you're a big Star Wars fan, probably don't know who the fuck he is.
All of you definitely know who he is. So he's just this random. He's this random Jedi that just like he shows up in like a deleted scene of Clone Wars. So I was like, I fuck with this guy.
Deleted scene with like not even the real animation.
And he gets killed.
Deleted scene is even a stretch.
He gets killed immediately in the deleted scene. But he makes his real. Well, he also shows up in the movies at some point. I have no clue where, but I saw it. Yeah, yes, he does. I would bet money on this. We bet a lot of money in this.
I'm not.
No, he definitely does. I looked this up. But he makes his first animated appearance in Tales of the Jedi in the 5th episode after Ahsoka leaves the training room at the beginning and her and Anakin are fighting. They turn around and he's just sitting there like, shut the fuck up.
He looks pissed.
Yeah, that's why he's like, you got to stop arguing in fucking public, you idiots. Yeah. It's cool. And then,
then we never
don't forget about my boy Ellis.
Oh, well, that's another one. That's another good one. Well, no, this one could be me and Tom's Random Boys. So there's a bounty hunter that shows up in the Clone Wars named Ellis, and they use his character like figure, I guess.
Like 18
They use it like so many. I'm pretty sure they use it twice in one episode.
Yeah,
he gets
2 or 3 times.
I think it's in the Dooku one. Like he gets shot down, and you're like, yo, he's dead, and then another one shows up behind him. It's like, what?
Yeah, and honestly, I believe if Ellis showed up to confront Dooku instead of
he'd probably kill him.
He might have turned him to the light side again.
I don't know about that.
You know how Ellis and Count Dooku
I don't think Ellis has that kind of power.
Yeah.
Ellis was involved in every major. Keep it light.
Keeping it light.
Somewhat light.
Yeah, somewhat light.
So this is going to be another pretty brief segment just because, like we said earlier, Tales has only been out for about 2 months. But we're going to look at Tales of the Jedi then versus now. So, I mean, there's not really a then versus now. It's pretty
much
not
much to say.
All the like not reviews, but I guess like comments I would say I've seen so far from other people is we said we weren't going to talk about this too much, but it's the same thing that everyone's been saying. It's just length of episodes and amount of episodes, and that's the only negative. Everything else has been
pretty good,
pretty positive about it.
This show is what I call
agree.
A coin. It's got heads and it's got tails. That's it.
It works for what
it's a perfectly like good show and bad show.
It works for what it is, but it's like a miniseries. It leaves you wanting for more.
Yeah.
Which is both a good thing and a bad
thing.
I would say.
Hopefully it gets renewed for a second season. Hopefully that second we don't need both, but hopefully either the episodes are a little bit longer Or they can stay the same length and we just have more episodes, which is what I would lean towards more.
Yeah, I don't think the length was even that bad. I just think we needed more episodes.
Yeah. Do we think they're gonna renew it?
I think
it also could have said it by now, but I don't think they have.
I don't even think they've.
Yeah, I agree. I think it got like pretty positive reviews. I'm sure it made whatever the money back that Disney Plus wanted to make already. So I think it probably.
Yeah, but you have to think about other stories that they would do like that.
The thing about
like any other characters, like they could do Windu, I agree, and that would be great.
Coon, like you already brought up.
They could, but most people don't know a ton about him. I don't think they would do.
You could do Asajj Ventress. You could do Asajj. There's a lot of places
you do Grievous.
You go with Tales of the Jedi.
Just Grievous shit.
Well, Grievous isn't a Jedi.
You can get a little bit more Maul.
That's the only thing too. Because of the title, they set themselves up. They could do that. I would
what
like
would
that.
we like to see in a season 2? How about
because you brought it up. You brought it up. Well, yeah, we know you want Mace. But honestly, Mace is the best chance.
Good.
What?
I said he wants Mace, but I said also Mace has the best chance of showing up.
I want a 3-episode arc about him.
You brought this up, and I would kind of like to see it just because of what I know from like the original story. I would want to see Quinlan Voss's early life because he saves. In like a comic or a book or something like in like the early 2000s, he saves Ayla Secura from like a bounty hunter or something, and that's why she becomes a Jedi. So I think that would be a cool story.
There is a cool little.
And Qui-Gon's involved in that story. That'd be another reason to bring back Qui-Gon.
Bro, bring back Liam Neeson at any cost.
Well, for me, my choice is it's either one of two. So I guess we'll talk about my boy Darth Maul. I would like to see. Yeah.
But do you think they would bring? But he's not a Jedi.
I showed some heavy restraint today. What?
Do you think they would bring him in because he's not a Jedi?
I showed you mercy. What?
Do you think they would bring him up because he's not a Jedi? Dooku was a Jedi at some point. That's why they used him.
No, I know, but you could always add that Tales of the Jedi Sith edition.
Tales of the Force.
You can
change
Tales of
it.
the Sith.
Yeah.
Do a side B to the side A of Tales of the Jedi.
What's your second one?
The second one would be I would be interested in seeing them finally implement Asherad Het into Star Wars canon.
Oh, the Tusken one? The Tusken one.
They don't even have to do the Darth Krayt shit. Just go.
I don't think they would because that's something that doesn't exist anymore. That's like 130 years past. You know what I mean?
Well, it's not in the past.
I mean, in the future.
Yeah, but they could still do his Jedi origin.
Well, that's what I think they would do if they did it. They would do.
That's what I'm saying.
I think if they're going to do it again, it's going to be more. It's just going to be prequel focused again.
They could even give him his uncharacteristic red lightsaber while being a Jedi.
I don't think Disney wouldn't do that. It's Disney. Come on.
Yeah, it's Disney.
They didn't give Yaddle her orange lightsaber. So.
They didn't give Deepa Balaba either.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I hope there's a season 2.
I'm hoping.
I would feel pretty confident that there will be.
Yeah. Just on the Dooku episodes alone, and that one episode with the training for Ahsoka, I would say that it's got enough creative writing behind it to where I would be interested in seeing it.
Right.
I'm interested in seeing where Dave could go with that.
Topics of debate. I don't think we really have any for this episode, right, guys?
No.
Nothing really.
There's usually something we debate about. There was nothing where we pretty much all took the same side, same approach.
I mean, like I said, I had a much more harsh on episode 1.
Yeah, you just had a strong hatred for it. I just thought it was just very
I just thought it was
mid.
very.
So I didn't think there was anything.
I thought it was very irrelevant. I mean, it was probably relevant for someone. If you like that, if you like that episode, I'm not going to judge you. But like, just to me, it's like I said, like there was just it did not pull me in at all.
Yeah, it's
such a first episode for one of these shows.
I know the original thing Dave had set up for Ahsoka, where Plo Koon finds her and like all that shit. So
yeah,
I had higher hopes for that episode, and it just did not hit home.
No, that's fair.
But let's wrap this thing up, guys. Personal takes on the show overall. What do we think?
I would give it a.
Before ratings. Just personal take.
Just a take.
Give it like a brief review overall.
I'd say overall it's an okay show. I would say at that point, but just because of the weird back and forth with quality, I would say it's an okay show. You know, you can definitely have a good time. There's definitely some good material to read into there, but it doesn't. It adds so little in the amount of runtime it has, in my opinion, to where you go about your Star Wars experience without it. It's not really that essential.
I was gonna say you can easily skip the show and still understand like the main.
Yeah.
So it just adds detail.
Which works to its credit.
It adds details to the main story that are just like interesting to see.
Yeah, because there is. Part of me does like that there are those little accented beats of like just knowing what Dooku has gone through in these episodes to inform about his character in the Clone Wars show, and to probably a lesser degree the movies, but still.
Right.
Yeah,
Cull,
it's cool. What's that?
I said, what do you got?
I thought it was decent. I thought it's better than honestly most new Star Wars things that I've seen. I thought it was visually pretty good. I liked the stories in it. I liked the execution of all the Dooku stories, and I liked how it went into his individual relationship with Qui-Gon. I liked how it went into his individual relationship with Mace Windu, and then also Yaddle, and to a lesser degree Darth Sidious. So I thought it was cool. I thought the Ahsoka stuff, I don't know, just wasn't as deep, but that's already a character they've explored further in a lot of ways. So I thought it was okay, and I wouldn't ever be like super excited to rewatch this, but I definitely would rewatch it, and definitely would like to see if they could build on it and give us a season 2. If there's a season 2, I'd definitely be more excited about it than I was about this first season, and I definitely give it a watch.
Agreed.
Right on.
And you, Sean?
I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I enjoyed the Dooku episodes a lot. I thought it was good to finally see something expanded on his life.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like that. Even though we don't see a ton, like you said, that's technically the earliest Star Wars we've seen in like media so far.
Yeah, I heard something about that recently. Yeah.
So I just think that's interesting that like.
Yeah.
We're going, instead of like just going forward like we normally do, we're going back a little bit.
The furthest back in canon you can possibly go is in this. So if
pretty cool.
If you want just the value on that alone, I would say definitely check it out, because
at least check out the Dooku episodes.
You are going into it in a
uncharted territories.
Right.
Yeah, you're going in a pre-Clone Wars era Star Wars, which is something you might not have seen before in that light.
The Ahsoka stuff was good for the most part, but I liked the training episode. I thought it was very interesting, and I liked the last episode with her, but I just don't think that those episodes are even anything to write home about. I think the whole main point of the training episode is they could have added that into an episode of Clone Wars or anything else, or they're having a show with her coming out, the live action one this year. They easily could have put that in the live action show, done a quick 5-minute scene of her doing that training exercise.
Yeah.
Have Anakin do the quote, and honestly, that would have been cooler because Hayden Christensen would have played Anakin if they did in the live action one. Give that same quote.
Who played him in the
he does a great job too.
I
love him. When we get to season 7 of the Clone Wars, I'm gonna hype this dude up.
And to be completely fair, I don't think it would nearly hit as hard.
Matt, if you're listening, come on the podcast.
I don't think it would hit nearly as hard though as hearing it from Atlanta between those two characters, because obviously
I think Matt gives a more, not serious, I don't know what the right term is, but the way he gets it across, it almost comes across as more meaningful than from Hayden. No offense to Hayden, I love Hayden, but Hayden doesn't really, when they casted him,
his character isn't really connected to Ahsoka.
Well, I was going to say, they didn't cast Hayden to be a master.
Yeah. They casted him to be the apprentice.
Whereas Matt's first time playing Anakin was the Clone Wars movie, which is the first time Ahsoka shows up.
Yes.
So, thing that we've all brought up multiple times, biggest negative factor to me was just the length, unfortunately. If we got a little bit more, it would have been good, or more different characters, all that stuff.
I think each episode could have used another 5 minutes, except for the first one, obviously.
But overall, it's definitely, if you're a Star Wars fan, I think it's definitely, it's going to be a watch, and you're definitely going to enjoy it.
It definitely scratches the itch, that Star Wars itch.
If you're if you're not the biggest Star Wars person, it's definitely something you could skip, and like we said, you're not really going to miss anything too important.
Yeah.
So
with that being said,
let's do the quick final wrap up. We had one thing before the ratings.
Yeah.
Our quick hitter, which today, just as a very basic one, it's going to be a movie from '99, the year we were born.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to go first just because I still haven't been able to think about one this entire podcast, and we've been talking about Star Wars this whole time, so I'm just going to go with The Phantom Menace.
Ooh, that's a good one.
All right, I'm gonna go with.
Tom's looking one up right now.
Yep, yeah, that is true. I was waiting for somebody to call me out.
I'm gonna go with American Beauty.
Ooh.
It's a Kevin Spacey movie.
Yes.
Came out in '99.
I'm gonna go.
Tom,
with,
just the first one that pops up. Just say.
yeah.
Don't even scroll through them.
Love Actually.
It's a quick hitter.
Yeah, it's a quick hitter. Just give us the first one.
Fight Club, baby.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good one. Baby.
All right.
Was that the first one?
No, it was the first one.
All
It
right.
should be.
What's the
No,
first?
because the first one was some
It's
trench.
Ooh.
Some shit with Daniel Craig.
Ooh, I'm gonna watch that.
Yeah,
now.
it sounds like something.
Be
right
prepared
up
for that.
Dallas.
Be
Right
prepared
up-
for that episode of the
Right off Main
podcast.
Street.
Does sound like something. All right, wait. I'm gonna do another quick hitter because Tom looked up the last quick hitter, and going in the future that is no longer allowed.
Yeah, those
That's
are not
not
allowed.
allowed.
If you're gonna do it, it has to be before the podcast.
Yeah, but even you shouldn't even do it before.
Okay, but then
I'm just
if we go into like the
1999 was a shit.
if we go into anything past the 80s, I'm screwed.
Like
why
earlier than the '80s, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, I know
or
why
even in the
1999
80s.
was a shit year because they had to make
Wait,
Fight Club that year.
What year did The Rock
That
come out?
means it was a shitty time.
The Rock.
Did that come out in 99? Because I'll change mine.
No, I think it came out like 2003.
Damn it. All right, never mind.
But
Could be wrong.
All right, what's your other quick hitter?
Another quick hitter.
Do you even have one, or are you just trying
No,
to
I
do
did have
one?
one, but I was just gonna ask a different movie year. All right. We'll ask a TV show question.
Okay.
What was the first TV show that like you vividly remember ever watching as a kid?
Oh,
well, probably SpongeBob.
I was gonna say
SpongeBob,
SpongeBob's like, I mean, most of like the
If you're a 90s kid.
most of like
Yeah,
the Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon.
Yeah, I feel like mine might have been like Kids Next Door. Like
Kids Next Door is a good one.
Kids
Definitely
Next
one of the
Door.
first ones I watched, but definitely
you know
might
what?
have been SpongeBob too. I watched SpongeBob a lot.
I'll bite, actually. I'll say that Batman the Animated Series, I think, was the first, because I had it on VHS.
Oh,
growing up.
word! I
Yeah,
missed
so-
VHS.
You want me to go really early? Because I got one when
Yeah,
I was
go
like
really
3.
early.
Rescue Heroes.
Rescue,
going
bro!
there.
I remember Rescue.
I know my
Fire
first
show.
movie.
I remember I had action figure.
What was your first
Rescue.
movie?
Spider-Man one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that really?
On VHS.
Dude,
and
I-
Shrek one.
I had Treasure Planet on VHS. That might,
Great
that
movie.
might have been
I had
one
that
of
on
my first.
VHS
That might have been
too.
one of my first. Definitely probably not the first, but
Yeah, different times, man.
I know.
All right,
we're,
boys.
we're proving that we're '90s kids.
But
Yeah.
let's get to our final ratings. We've been
Yes.
going on for a
quick
good
hitters.
minute now.
Good.
But final ratings, Tom. What are we gonna give this?
I was gonna go between a 6.5 and a 7, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 7, just for the principle that the Dooku episodes were that much better, in my opinion.
Okay.
The great, then I won't even say the Dooku episodes. The good episodes in general were better than the negatives.
Cool.
That's all I have to say.
I would agree. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. I liked it just slightly better. It was a new Star Wars thing that I was genuinely, for the most part, I don't know if impressed is the right word, but satisfied with. It satisfied me. I enjoyed it, and yeah, the Dooku stuff's really fucking good. Not really, it's pretty good. The Ahsoka stuff's decent, and overall, yeah, it's just pretty good. It's a 7.5. 7.5 is something that pretty good. I'll always be like, yeah, I'd probably rewatch it, but it's not something I'm gonna like ever like write home about. And be like, yo, you have to watch this. You know what I mean? 7.5, pretty good.
Yeah.
Right.
And you, Sean?
I'm also gonna give it a 7.
All right. So you've seen it
This is
here
something
first,
where-
everybody.
Something where
this
one of the
not
very
usually
few
how it
times you're
goes.
gonna see me and Tom agree,
Episode
especially on something Star Wars related.
Yeah,
Yeah, on
But-
some, this is...
we're breaking new ground.
Don't
Yeah,
get comfortable.
Episode 0,
ladies and
breaking new
gentlemen,
ground,
because
and it's
this
gonna
will
go
not-
back to normal by next episode.
This
But-
will not be happening again for another 100 episodes, probably.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like you guys said. I mean, the Dooku episodes are. If it was all 6 episodes that focused on Dooku and they did it the right way, I probably would have given it like an 8, 8.5.
Yeah.
Honestly, it could have worked out.
And exactly, it could have worked.
Yeah.
But it's just the fact of I didn't, like I said, I did not like the first episode at all. The second Ahsoka episode, I thought they easily, like I said, they could have slipped that into just like a 5-minute scene in like an episode of Ahsoka when it eventually comes out or something. Like, it's something that I felt like did not have to be a full episode. They could have shown her training, had Anakin doing the quote, and that still probably would have had the same impact as this entire episode had. And the last Ahsoka episode just is very lackluster until the last fight. And I mean, like we said, the Padme, the funeral is just like an interesting scene, but that's the first 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it's just
everything
everything in between that to the final fight is just like complete filler.
All the juicy bits they cut right out.
Yep. But yeah, so next episode, we're gonna stick with Star Wars for a little bit.
Yeah. Hopefully you don't get tired of Star Wars, but after that, don't worry, we're switching off.
Yeah, we're gonna switch off to something else. But next episode, we're gonna be doing the 2003 Clone Wars series,
which is amazing.
We're gonna treat it. We're gonna
finally give some justice to my boy. Spoiler.
Right.
Yeah.
We're gonna.
I can speak for Cullen in saying that he definitely enjoys this one.
I think we're gonna treat it more like a movie.
We're gonna treat it more like
Yes.
Or 2 movies even. We'll count each season as like a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be one episode.
It's gonna still be one episode, but
it typically was formatted as shorts airing on Cartoon Network during the early 2000s.
yeah, they're all like each episode's only like 3 minutes, so we're just gonna combine them all, count them as like almost a movie, and we'll see how it goes.
Good, we'll give you our thoughts on it next time.
You guys will definitely have a kick out of this one.
I hope you guys stay tuned.
Yeah,
all right.
But that's pretty much it from us here.
Yeah,
you
with
got
that being said,
the boys, Tom, Cull, and Sean, wrapping up.
Cullen is signing off. Thanks for listening.
So
you're some real ones.
Thank you guys for listening to the podcast, and we will catch you next week.